Well, hello, here we are, week 5. If you can believe it, thank you for the work. I know coming after those exams, sometimes you feel a little bit tired. We had a little bit less content this week. As soon as possible, take a look at your joints quiz and then move forward. So during week 5, we'll start new content. We'll have lecture and lab. For lecture this week, we'll really focus on the muscular system. This is the first hardcore physiology all semester. If you can, please try to get through the presentation prior to coming to lecture. We'll lecture on the details of cell structure and get into as much of muscle physiology as we can during the time allowed. It will help to see the presentation first. This is some heavy content this week. We only have one presentation, but it's a deep one. This week in lab, we will start bones. So you had the skeletal system in lecture prior to the exams. This week in lab, we'll start to learn all the bones in the body. And we'll start by learning first images, and then we'll transition to real bones and plastic models in preparation for a quiz next week. There are no critical skills assignments or videos this week. This week for lecture, there's a muscular system presentation, and it's a deep one. And in lab, we will take a look at bones, and we'll work through those. All right, at the end of this week, you'll have a 10-question quiz over the muscular system. And in lab next week, during the first 10 minutes, you'll have a quiz over the bone images that we covered this week. So relatively straightforward. We're moving on now to the next round of exams, and there's still a couple weeks out. Also, please take what you learned about preparing for the first exam, make any adjustments, and move forward. Thank you for the exam analyses. Those were helpful. We will have some more critical skills and videos coming up, but none this week. This week it's one presentation and then bones and lab. And I know that sounds like not very much, but it will require some time. If you found prior to the first exam that you weren't spending enough time, you'll have to change that. Literally, this does require hours and hours and hours. And if you're not putting that stuff in, if you're not putting the time in rather, you're not gonna learn this content like you'll need to know it, and like your patients will need you to know it. I really appreciate the work. Take a look at your emails. I'll reach out to you individually. As always, thank you so much. Hang in here. We're marching towards the second round of exams. In the meantime, dig into this content. I promise it's cool, and I promise it's important.